Hello, this is Ed Rigsbee with another edition of Raw and Unedited for Association Executives. This is a place where we give you tips, tactics, innovations, and all kinds of cool solutions to help you be a better association executive and to help you serve your members better. Hey, as we're in the middle and kind of trying to pull out of this COVID-19 crisis, have you wondered what kind of information are you going to give your members when they contact you to ask you for some kind of guidance on how they pull out of it? Well, if you're in luck, today I have Richard Melancon. He's a CPA in the New Orleans area. I've known Richard for quite a long time. He's a no-nonsense CPA, and he helps business leaders with integrity leadership. So Richard, let's get into this. So many people are planning to open their business. They've been closed. What should these business owners be thinking about? How can our association executives, what can they be thinking about when they open up their business?
Of course, they have to think about the safety and health of their employees and the safety of their customers. So that means wearing all the PPE. That means putting up the dividers in front of the counters, between tables in a restaurant. So those things people are aware of because it's on the news every day. But what's the thing that they don't actually realize until they start opening their doors and watch how the customers react is that business has changed. It has changed forever. Customers' expectations have changed. The way customers are spending dollars have changed because they've been out of a job for 2 months. They've depleted their savings. So the whole concept of value has changed. How customers view the value of the products and services that they used to buy last year, all the way up till February. So if the businesses are not looking to recreate a value proposition or a customer service level to meet the customer's expectations now, then there's going to be a disconnect. So you can't just use the concepts that you were using in February to reopen your business now.
Got it. So what do we think about this? So if customers were happy 2-3 months ago, January, February, with who you are, what you serve, what your products and services were, your customer service level, when you reopen the doors today, tomorrow, in a week, or whatever it is, won't the customers similarly be happy?
Well, customers have changed their priorities and how they're going to spend their dollars. So when you shift your priorities, your new level of needs have shifted as well. So the value that you placed on products in February has shifted. Things that you were able to buy, things that you were able to afford at $10, you may not be able to afford to spend $10 on them. So if that's the price, the value is not there. There's a disconnect. The value may have to drop to $5 or $7. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean that the cost of those products have changed to the businesses. It means that the businesses have to reevaluate what is the value that they're offering to their customers for either that same price level or a different price point.
So, Richard, I'm kind of wondering, I would assume most people's credit cards are probably getting to the point of being pretty maxed out. I mean, is that going to have an effect? Is that going to mean that their value levels are less, or does that mean they just can't possibly spend less?
Well, it means that they have no more discretionary funds. If they're maxed out on their credit cards, especially if they were living from paycheck to paycheck in February, then they're behind in all their bills. They're behind on their mortgage. They don't have any savings. They now have to save up for the school tuition coming up in the fall. And when you think about the sales transaction process, there are 3 components that have to be in place before sales is completed. The customer has to want the item. They have to feel that the item has value for the price that you're charging. Mm-hmm. And they have to be able to afford to pay the price to buy the item. So there's a lot of pent-up demand. Absolutely, people want to go out and they want to restart their life the way it was before COVID.
Mhm.
But they don't have the dollars to do that right now. They will eventually. They'll catch up, but they don't have it now.
So, as far as should businesses be focused on amping up their sales efforts? Is that going to help them? You know, what's you know,
Well,
where are they in unlocking this situation? What are they to do?
there's several solutions that companies can look at. One of the things they can look at is what are the products they're offering? Is there a way to, if they're selling brand items, is there a way to start selling discount items for those customers that just don't have quite as much money, but still need the same category of products?
Okay.
If you do that, you can still retain your brand items if you tell customers that we're offering these lower price products for the next 6 months, so that once the economy gets going, we're going to replace them back with our branded products that you've known and loved and that you've counted on. But we want to be responsive to our customers. You want to call the customers and ask them, what is it that they need? What are their priorities right now? What are they looking for? And customers are looking at solutions more than they're looking at prices or looking at the relationships that they had with companies. Customers are really compressed now with a lot of needs, a lot of priorities, and not a lot of discretionary funds. So if you look at some of the companies and how they've shifted, I've seen t-shirt printing companies that are now making masks. They're making masks out of the same materials that they used to make uniforms and t-shirts and shirts out of. And they're printing them with logos of the companies and offering 500, 2,000, 1,000 price points, so that the companies can buy them as giveaways, buy them as products to sell, buy them to fulfill the needs of the customers who are walking in, who are just kind of in a daze. You see restaurants that are now partnering with Uber Eats and other delivery services to deliver products so that the customers don't have to leave their homes. Some customers can't deliver homes because they're still dealing with people who are sick at home or with small children who can't be left unattended. So you have to look at what is it that you're offering? How can you shift what you're offering to meet the needs of the customers? And you won't know that until you talk to the customers and ask them, how can we help? Can we refer you to somebody that's outside of what we offer, just so that you know that we're here as a resource for you, that we don't want you to leave us behind, and we certainly don't want to leave you behind.
So you mentioned brands, and I'd like to go just a teeny bit deeper on this if we could. You know, you were talking about that changing brands or lesser brands. So is what you're saying that people are now looking for the plain wrap and no longer looking for the Cartier? Will they ever look for the Cartier again? Will they, you know, what's going on?
Well, what you find when people have limited funds, and this is true of any recession that we've had in the past, certainly any depression. When people have limited funds, they focus more on their immediate needs. That means things like new cars, washers and dryers, furniture. Those are the things that they can push off till later, because they can continue to use what they have now for the next 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. And then once the economy is back up and running, they can afford to buy those things which are long-term purchases. Those are high-end purchases. There are no more luxury purchases in Main Street anymore. If you have a jewelry shop, certainly people are going to buy jewelry for Christmas and for weddings, well, you know, wedding bands. There'll be some purchases, but you're going to see sales slow down quite a lot in those arenas. It's going to have to be something really special, a really special occasion for people to use the money that they need to buy food and to pay for their mortgage to shift to a luxury item. So for now, those sales are going to slow down quite a lot. There's still people with wealth that will continue to buy those products, but the people in everyday working relationships are not going to have a lot of disposable income.
So I may be taking you off track here a little bit, but you made the statement when the economy's back up and running. And now I'm probably going to ask you to pull out your crystal ball here. Do you have any thoughts about when the economy might be back up and running to some reasonable degree? You know, who knows how long it's going to take to get where it was last December, but what are your thoughts as far as, you know, how long it might take us to recover and get things going and get things maybe not like they once were, but at least, you know, humming along in a good manner? What are your thoughts?
The short answer is we're not going to see a full recovery before 12 months from now.
Okay.
And it could be longer. I don't think it's going to be shorter. One of the things that is holding the economy back are the fears that people have of their own personal safety and health. As long as we're walking around wearing masks, people are reminded that their health is at risk. It means they're going to be limited on the number of places that they go. They're going to be limited on spending dollars that they don't have. So they're not going to be able to extend their credit. They're not going to want to use their credit unless they have to. And so right now we're in phase one of recovery in New Orleans. So we're limited to 25% capacity in retail stores and consumer type shops. The mask is a constant reminder that we need to have social spacing. And as long as that concept is clear in the minds of the consumers, they're not going to be spending money more than what is necessary to keep their family going. And so as long as we have that, sales are going to be down. Mm-hmm. That means that jobs are going to be limited. Overtime is going to be eliminated. And at 25% capacity, you're going to see a lot of businesses fail. Mm-hmm. So now is the time to decide, are you going to change what you've done since February to stay in business? Because business has changed permanently. We're going to see a different level, a different definition of customer service. And it is absolutely going to be all about the customer's needs. And it's going to be about the needs of the customers today, not how we saw the trend last week. It's what are my needs today? If you can fulfill my needs today, I'm your customer. If not, I'm probably going to be looking someplace else.
Got it.
Loyalty is going to be important, but loyalty has to be reestablished now.
Yeah, you know, what you're saying makes a lot of sense. I mean, I'm just thinking about myself. I could go shopping, but I have no desire to go shopping.
Right.
You know, and it's when I think about, oh, wouldn't it be fun to go out to a restaurant? It's like, yeah, heck with it. You know, I mean, I don't argue that. Absolutely. So what are some of the other changes that you're thinking that we can expect as we move forward? What else do you think may be going on?
Well, we're going to see a lot more emphasis on telecommuting, people working at home. Now people have shown their employers that a lot of the jobs that we thought had to be done on site can be done remotely. Mm-hmm. We're going to see a change in the way people are supervised. You have to manage productivity, not manage behavior. And for a lot of companies, that is going to be a hard process to transition to. That's a whole different management style that people have not been trained in, that people are not comfortable managing others through, which means that employees are going to be held accountable to a different set of measurements. We're going to see people shifting from one job to another job. A lot of people are going to be displaced. They're going to be left at home until schools reopen. So their jobs are going to be eliminated if their company goes out of business. So we're going to see a lot of people shifting jobs and maybe even moving into independent contractor status. It's amazing when you think about it, how many people have unique skills that actually many companies could use on a project basis. We see now companies are scrambling to try to move their operations to an online store to augment the physical store because of the social distancing rules. If you can't get them in your store, get them to the website and sell your products through a catalog. But you can't do that just by going to the web and saying, here I am. You need a web online presence and an online store. and that takes some expertise. That's a project that can easily be done by an independent contractor. So if you're the kind of person that had the technology job for your company, you might be able to take those skills and move them to an independent contractor status and do that for 5, 10, 15 companies.
Mm-hmm.
You might make more money, and it might even be cheaper for each company to hire you on a project basis than to maintain that desk, that physical presence and on site, and that full-time salary.
Gotcha. I caught something you said. You said people are going to need to manage productivity and not behavior. That was pretty good. I like that. Can you go just a little deeper on that? I think that sounds pretty important.
Absolutely. Think about how you hire independent contractors. When you hire somebody to paint your house, you pay them at the end of the job. You pay them when the job is complete. You don't ask, are they happy? You don't ask what their goals are. You don't ask what their motivation is. You pay them for a project. When people work at home, they have to be paid on a performance basis, which means that you have to set up the job so that employees can be held accountable for the work that they complete, not for the attitude that they have toward their work. They either perform or they don't, because you can't be there and sing happy birthday to them. You can't be there and pat them on the back. You can't be there and give them that social support like you can when they work on site. So if they're choosing either through need or through choice to work at home, they have to find their own motivation. And all motivation is internally generated when you really think about it. But they have to find that motivation to continue working. They have to want to stay in the job, and they have to be held accountable for the work that they actually do. So the work has to be broken down into components and to completion points so that you can measure when somebody has been successful in each of the completion points for the project that they've been assigned to.
So it sounds like it's going to be a little bit incumbent upon managers and leaders to have a little bit more clear vision of what they expect from people and tell them what they expect, when they expect it, and get out of their way and let them take care of it in their own way. That's what I think I hear you saying.
I actually see it as an evolution of the workplace, where we're now actually defining what is success, what is productivity, and we're allowing the employee to measure their own goals against a standard, not somebody's opinion, but an actual objective measurement. And I think that it allows people to know inherently every time they've met a success point and every time they're behind. And they can decide to seek assistance. They can decide to seek clarity. They know when they need additional training. They know when they're on track. And the whole concept of an annual or semi-annual performance review becomes just a matter of course, where you check off, was the employee productive? Was the employee showing up and meeting all of their goals? Yes or no?
Very good. So, there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, I think, but there also seems to be a lot of gloom in the future. What in your view, what are the positive opportunities that are lying ahead?
I think there are many opportunities for those companies that choose to restart and decide to take a look at how their business operates from a value standpoint. I think we're going to see that many businesses will close across the country because sales will fall, they won't be able to meet their overhead on a monthly basis, and their cash flow will dry up and they'll just go away. As these companies go away, it opens up holes in the marketplace for other companies that have survived to fill that need. I think companies will learn right now how to be innovative if they want to survive, and that innovation will carry them through for the next several years in the development of their own company and their own product line. I think companies will learn how to pivot to the needs of their customers, and that will be a skill that they can carry forward forever. I think the whole way that we hire employees, that we help employees learn how to be accountable, will make for better employees, better relationships between the employees and the company, and clear expectations about what is the value of their labor. So I think in a lot of ways, business is evolving in a positive way. I hate that it happened because of COVID, and I hate all of the negative things that have come as a result. But I really don't see that the country is going to close down again. So this is our last opportunity to redefine our business, move forward in a new way, and really meet the customer expectations and show that we need the customers as business owners as much as the customers need our products that we're offering.
Got it. You know, you were mentioning to me that you have put together a program to help businesses to grow and to improve. And I think you mentioned that you were even willing to, entertain, affiliate agreements through chambers of commerce and trade associations and professional societies. I don't necessarily, we don't need a sales pitch, but I'd love to hear more about that if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, well, thank you for asking about it. I've just completed a video on demand program. And it's a series of 6 modules. Each module is about 10 minutes, so it's easy to watch on any time schedule that the viewer wants to see. And it goes through the process of what are the changes, what can we expect in the future, what is it that your business should be doing specifically step by step. I have a 5-step restart process, and it covers everything from the financial end to the operational end to the sales end in how companies can restart their business successfully so that they're profitable this year. Now, that's a bold statement. A lot of companies are going to be struggling just to break even this year because they're going to go out and try to restart their business without any significant changes. And I think that's the mistake. And the program, the way I've designed it, I'm trying to get it out to as many people as possible in as short a time frame as possible. My initial thinking was that if I offered it through trade associations or chambers of commerce, that we could develop some sort of affiliate program where the chambers would receive a royalty from every program sold. The way it's going to be rolled out is that we'll have a free presentation, and anybody who wants to attend that will get value from that free presentation. There will be a lot of value already in that free presentation. If they want to go deeper, they can have the opportunity to buy a deeper program with a lot of worksheets, additional resources, and then the video on demand that they can watch as often as they want in any sequence and for as long as they want. And for every purchase, again, a royalty will go back to the sponsoring organization. So it helps the members, it helps the sponsoring organization, and it pays for my time in putting this together.
Well, as a CPA, I think you've seen, even in the best of times, a lot of businesses do silly things and go under. And so it would seem to me, now that we're in many regards in the worst of times, unless of course you're maybe Amazon Prime, other than being Amazon Prime, it would seem to me that right now is an important time. So, how do people get a hold of you?
My contact information, they can contact me at richard@ramcpa.com. That's my email address. They can go to my website at www.ramcpa.com. And my phone number, if you're taking notes now, it's 504 area code, and the number is 780-9091. And I'm happy to talk to anybody who wants to learn a little bit more information about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll make sure I put this in the program notes. Before I let you go, any last thoughts that you'd like to share with the association executives watching this show?
The one thing I want to leave them with is, if you do today what you did yesterday, tomorrow will leave you behind. We have to change the way we're doing business in order to be responsive to the needs of the customers. Those customer needs have changed. Their resources have, their level of resources have changed. Their demands have not changed, but their ability to buy all of the products and services that they were buying as early as February has changed dramatically. If we can't be a partner with our customers to lead us and them through this process over the 6 to 9 months, then customers will leave us. Their loyalty is being tested. We have to redefine what is customer service, rebuild that customer loyalty, or we will lose those customers to our competitors. And if we don't watch our finances, our cash flow will dry up and we will go out of business.
Sad to say, sad to say. Well, Richard, hey, I really appreciate you spending some time with me today and sharing your ideas with the association executive out there in association executive land. And I'll make sure that I get the information. Again, your website is www.ram, like RAM. What's your middle name?
Alan.
Allen. So Richard Allen. And I always pronounce it right, Melancon. Is that close?
It's close. It's a soft C. It's Melancon.
You know, being that I'm not Cajun, being that I'm not from New Orleans, I just butcher these names. Like our friend that's in PR, Jared Bro. And if you look at how that's spelled and how it's pronounced, how do the two work? But anyway, it's www.ramcpa.com, and your number is 504-780-9091.
Right. RamCPA.com works as well.
I'm sorry?
RamCPA.com works well too.
RamCPA.com. Very good. Richard, thanks so much. Appreciate you coming on. Look forward to it. And all you association execs out there, get a hold of him. You know, look at non-dues revenue is huge. Back in 1960, your budget was about 95% dues and about 5% non-dues revenue. Today, we all know your budget is closer to 50% non-dues revenue. So things like this, if you're an association exec right now, you know, hey, right before we recorded this, Richard, I just did a call with 40 association execs, and I understand that the challenges they're dealing with revenue. So if you are an association exec, get a hold of Richard. This might be a perfect opportunity to gain some affiliate revenue while creating some tremendous value for your members, which is going to put a little bit of money in your coffer, and more importantly, is going to make your members successful. So next year, when you ask them to renew, they'll have the money to renew and hopefully still be in business. Would you agree with that, Richard?
Absolutely. And remember, if the businesses fail, they're no longer members. They won't even be paying dues. So it's important that the chamber does everything possible to get them up and running and being profitable.
Very good. Richard,